What is the cost of freedom? What song comes to mind when you think of freedom? What if I told you that you can answer these questions by visiting one building, but not just any building? You'd have to visit the National Museum of American History. Though it's a very controversial issue, we as a nation have been at war from the very beginning. Everything from the Revolutionary War to the current wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Today I'm going to talk to you about the National Museum of American History, where it's located and two of its exhibits, specifically the Price of Freedom, Americans at War, and the Star-Spangled Banner, the flag that inspired the national anthem. So where is the museum located? The museum is located in Washington, D.C. According to the Smithsonian website, it is at 1400 Constitutional Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. It is located right next to the National Mall, another area that honors our nation. Now, the museum itself is comprised of 19 museums and the National Zoo, all within the capital and New York City. So now that you know where it's located, let's explore the inside. What does freedom cost? Some would say blood, sweat, and tears of Americans. So how did this freedom begin? The Price of Freedom, Americans at War chronicles every war we've been in since the birth of our nation. It starts off with the War of Independence. The Smithsonian has this war starting at 1775 and ending at 1883. Around that time we had about 217,000 troops. The war itself cost us 4,443 deaths. Some of the neat things in the museum, or the exhibit, are a uniform and lapels that belonged to General George Washington during the war, which he used mainly for portraits. They also have one of 3 camp chests that may have belonged to General Washington. As you walk through the exhibit, you encounter a part for the War of 1812. This war lasted for 3 years and cost us about 2,000 lives. This war was also the first time we were attacked on our very own soil. In 1814, the White House was burned down, along with many other public buildings. Now, also a part of this war was the battle for Fort McHenry, which was within the Baltimore Harbor. This defying battle led to the need for our next exhibit. What is the Song of Freedom? It is something to be very proud of. A must-see when visiting the American History Museum, the Star-Spangled Banner, the flag that inspired the national anthem. According to the Smithsonian website, Mary Pickersgill was the woman put in charge of making the Star-Spangled Banner. She made 2 flags. The larger one was the one that was chose to fly over Fort McHenry, which the British really wanted to take control of. Francis Scott Key is the person who penned our famous national anthem. During the Battle of Fort McHenry, he was aboard a British ship, but not for the reasons you believe. He was actually trying to negotiate the release of an American civilian that the British had captured. According to the exhibit's page, as the dawn's early light revealed the flag still there, Mr. Scott was busy jotting down the verses of the song. To see the Star-Spangled Banner in real life is surreal. It's a national treasure that'll bring a tear to your eye. The song became the national anthem officially in 1913. During the Civil War, the song gained a lot of popularity and was sung on both sides. After this, it was used in various military ceremonies. So now that you know about these 2 exhibits, it should make your trip to the Capitol memorable. Today I talked to you about the National Museum of American History. This national treasure is a must-see for any American visiting the Capitol. I talked to you about its location and 2 very important exhibits. The Price of Freedom, Americans at War, and the Star-Spangled Banner, the flag that inspired the national anthem.